Thought of that.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
Yes.
and that it's brand new to them, right? So
Yeah.
it's an opportunity to be a leader in the community. But that instant feeling of you're needed is something that I'm hearing companies say over and over again with this generation.
That's
so that's a way to meet that need.
So just because this is interesting to me because I've never heard of this. So what do you do with them to help them with this?
With the board
with
program?
the board program.
It's two components. So we train community members and employees on how to be a board member. What's the governance? What's the fundraising responsibilities? We have a number of agencies that are really struggling throughout the state, and a lot of it leads to boards that just weren't really strong and didn't practice good governance. So we train that piece of it, and then the agencies come and they learn what a good board should look like.
Yeah.
We have to build the capacity of our agencies, or we're going to be in trouble with our people that we're trying to help and serve. And then we try to match. So once an agency has participated in the training, we will try to find someone who's gone through the training. Does this interest you? Does this and sometimes they'll be, that's exactly what I want to do. And sometimes they try out a couple different agencies to find out where they should be.
Which is the right fit.
Yeah.
That's great that that's an option. It's a very, very interesting way to take what people really already want and then train them along the way as well. That's fantastic. So this is part of the value to the nonprofits. What are some of the other things that you're working on to help in this capacity?
In the areas of board
I don't know.
or capacity?
We were talking about the benefits, in particular, to some of the nonprofits with the days that
Well, the nonprofits, you want to use every single penny that you can for your human capital and for your services.
Yeah.
And so when you have to worry about maintenance on your building, things that you just don't really want to have to spend the money on.
So those day of
projects
actions
are great.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
But then there's also opportunities. We have a reading program in Danbury where volunteers go in and they read to the children in the preschool.
Yeah.
That engages the children, makes them more interested in reading. It engages the volunteers. The agencies love it because they have a chance to sit back and watch their kids enjoy somebody else coming in and taking over for a few minutes.
Yeah, sure. Go have at it.
So there's all different types of ways that you can really meet those needs for the agencies. Some are really, really direct, and some are not. We need accountants, we need web developers, marketing. There's all sorts of expertise that every nonprofit needs, and they do not have the resources to pay for it.
So no matter what anyone who is watching today, and no matter where their forte is, there's probably something that they could do.
If you call United Way, you will find something to do.
We will find something for you to do, don't you worry.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, that's great. And so how would they go about doing that, Karen? We have plenty of time, but I just wanted to make sure to give them, if somebody was interested, some way to get there.
Absolutely. Well, anyone who's interested, an individual or even a company who might be interested in getting their employees involved, can contact United Way of Western Connecticut. Our phone number is 203-792-5330. You can also find us on our website at www.uwwesternct.org. And you can also find us on Facebook at United Way of Western Connecticut.
Volunteering, go and social media. I love it. That's awesome. Well, another way that we have something in common is we have lots of children, and my children this year are doing a program, let me make sure I'm saying, the Volunteer Youth Corps, correct? And it is through the United Way, and they're going to go and help out with animals and building fences and weeding gardens, and so I'm excited about them having that opportunity to give back and getting more involved in the community. And so do you have any stories of, your son went through that, right?
My son did, and actually some other friends that went through it in Bethel as well. And it's great for the kids because the kids need the community service hours anyway. So it's a nice opportunity for them to give back and also to meet kids from area high schools because it's kids from all over.
So they can meet kids from other schools that they wouldn't have met otherwise.
Exactly.
It's like a summer camp experience, except it's service learning. So they'll do a project for 3 to 5 days, and it's ages 11 to 18. and then they'll learn something about what it is they're doing. So if they are working on senior housing, they'll learn about some of the issues around seniors. If they're working on one of our self-sufficiency projects, they'll learn about the food needs in the community. So it's
That's
a nice
great.
blend of doing the activity and then walking away with more of a knowledge of what your community needs.
I love that. Now, so this is our first year, and all three of my boys are doing it. My
Great.
11-year-old twins and my 13-year-old. So what would you recommend to a parent to kind of help facilitate this learning? I mean, other than just being enthusiastic about it, or maybe I shouldn't be too enthusiastic about it because then they won't want to go. But do you have any recommendations on how to, like, should I learn more about it myself on the side so that we can communicate about it afterward, or just listen?
You could do that, but what I've always told my children too is that this gives you an opportunity to get out and do something for someone else. But besides that, that no matter what you have in life, no matter how much little you have, you can always give back.
Right.
And make a difference wherever you go. And this is an opportunity for you to do it.
And it should be enjoyable. You know, I would say summer is a time where you should be having fun and I think with these projects, you know, if you can encourage the fun of it and really hear from them what they liked about it, you know, you'll be able to, I think, have a peek into what really interests them and what makes their minds
and then
tick.
guide them for the next. I loved it because mine are boys, and
They need
they have as much or more energy than I do, which is crazy.
They're gonna come home tired.
So so I need them to come home tired. Throw them outside all
They'll
day
be dirty
long.
and they will be tired.
Perfect. I love it. That's fantastic. So what I also like to do on the show is to ask a little bit that inspiration aspect. Is there anyone, do you have any stories of a mentor or someone that guided you? Because you just emanate, both of you, this sense of giving, and you're in a role where you obviously enjoy this, you're doing great things for the community. That had to come from somewhere, right? Do you have any stories like that?
I think you're probably raised with some of it, right?
I certainly was.
Yeah, I was
My
too.
parents were always out in the community giving back, and every Christmas we would make sure that we would adopt a family and buy Christmas presents, and so I was a part of that growing up. But I also had a particular relative, an aunt, who just emanated that about her in her daily life and how she impacted lives around her just by simple conversations, giving, and being there for the greater good. And she really inspired me to do that.
It's funny when you said that, though. It triggered for me. I used to work with a free clothing store, and a lot of volunteers would help make that run. And I learned more from the folks who volunteered there, who had the disabilities or who were coming from the population that we were actually serving with the program, and how much they loved having a family of people that they would get up for in the morning and come to work, and
that's so
it just
nice.
changed my whole perspective on volunteering. You know, it's not just something you do; it's something that you are. And I just remember that experience as just being fabulous and learning so much from them.
That. Yes, and it's about, on a daily basis, no matter what we're doing, it's really comes down to if you want to be better, you're striving for doing better at business or in your personal relationships or with your community. It is about who you're becoming.
Yes.
More so than what you're doing.
Absolutely.
So that does really resonate with me.
Yeah.
I like that very much. So what are some other things that are coming up?
Oh my gosh, we have a lot going on. One of the things we're really going to be focusing on this fall is around the population that lives paycheck to paycheck, which really we employ in the nonprofit industry. We rely on people every single day in our lives, and they're a hidden population of people that really struggle, and one crisis is it could tip them over the edge, a health crisis, a job crisis. And so we're really going to be focusing on, we're calling that person Alice, asset limited, income constrained, and employed. We'll have a report coming out Labor Day for the whole state of Connecticut. And so I think a lot of our work and a lot of our messaging and a lot of our volunteerism will be around how do you help Alice and her children to succeed and manage. We're not going to solve all the problems.
Right.
We're not going to create jobs tomorrow. So how do you help folks so that they're not living paycheck to paycheck? And that the Financial Resource Center, I think, is one way that we're already doing that. And we're using volunteers to do it because the resources are so scarce. I mean, we have to rely on each other to get the work done. There's just is not enough dollars.
Do you find that it's tougher now than maybe it used to be, or is it
when the recession
better?
hit, we were braced for a few years of difficulty. And it was interesting because the first year, the nonprofits really didn't feel it. Year 2, it hit hard. And to get back to the levels that we were at in 2007, it's going to take a long time in this area. Just, there's not as many people in the workforce in the state right now. And so, and the ones that are coming back, the jobs aren't necessarily the higher paying jobs. People are more concerned about their future. So they're going to take care of, they have to replenish their own reserves. Right? So the nonprofits have really struggled over the last few years, and they've had to find ways to really collaborate to get things done, and to use volunteers more and more.
So those resources are
and
just
to work
the
together, 'cause you can't
hands-on.
compete. There's just not enough resources.
Okay, and there's also now the Women Leadership Group. Is that helping with Alice?
We're about to form a Women's Leadership Council. And they're going to look at some of these issues and say, here's what we're going to wrap our efforts around. And it'll be women helping women, which will be great.
I love that. You sick us on something, and we're going to make sure it gets done. Now, that you said on Labor Day, there's a study that's going to be coming out.
Yes.
So will they be able to find that on the website?
Yes, it'll be.
There's a lot other resources on the website as well. Could you give the website again, please, Karen?
It's www.uwwesternct.org.
Okay, and is there a hyphen, or is it just?
No, just
okay,
as I said,
okay, good. Because then you can go and you can find out all about all of these different programs, the resources, the studies that you do.
Well, and 211 is another resource that if anyone needs help or needs access to daycare services, adult services for their family members, mental health support, dial 211 or go on to 211.org and you'll, or you go to our website and there's a link
from your website to 211.org.
And that's a statewide referral source.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah, it's an excellent resource.
24/7, so
great.
anyone can call anytime.
Well, didn't I tell you that this was going to fly by? There's like 30 seconds left. I could talk to you all day long, but I do highly encourage the people that are watching to go to the website, to join us to the Phoenix event in July at the Stanford Innovation Center. Thank you so much, Kim. Thank you so much, Karen. I really appreciate your time and all that you do for the community.
Thank you.
Thank you, and bye-bye.